Wagwan, everybody. I am your Jamaican queen, Miss Y. You are tuned into How I See It TV, and this is Why Caught Alive. Y'all, I can't do the I can't do the melody this morning. I'm so sorry. But good morning, everyone. How are you doing? How are you doing? I saw Miss Linda Gamble. Ooh, my throat is like my voice is going off. I saw Miss Linda Gamble. Hi, Irene Bass. How are you? I see Keisha. How are you guys? It is morning. Tuesday morning. And y'all, once again, so much, so much is going on in this Love and My Huntsville sector. And I wish I had Carlos King on the thumbnail, but you know what? We're still gonna talk about him. But before we do that, please remember, y'all, to like this video, share the link to my channel if you feel like the content needs some more crowd, subscribe if you haven't done so yet, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, now called X, at How I See It, and on TikTok at How I See It TV. So, y'all, I watched um Carlos King and Marsau's review of The Girls Trip. And here's my disclaimer. I am not Team Marsau. I don't feel like Marsau has changed. I don't know what angle Marsau is coming from. However, a broken clock, y'all, is correct at the least twice a day. Broken clock is right twice a day. And so that's the stance that I'm going to take when it comes to Marsau and a couple of things he said during this review with Carlos. My stance is that even though Marsau could possibly be the same person he's been since season one, I am going to analyze some of the things that he said from the standpoint of several things can be true at the same time, which means Marsai is still who he is, but that doesn't mean what he said wasn't the truth. Okay? So please keep that in mind because I don't want anyone to say, oh, Marsai hasn't changed. He's looking for millimeter support. That all of that could be the case. But when we own in on what he actually said during this sit down, then we just have to be like, I will give him two taps, two rounds of applause for that, and two pinky taps, and then move on. Okay? So, first things first, he basically called Destiny a liar several times during this. Hi, TNTG, mom, how are you? Um, and y'all, when I say how are you, like, I'm really asking. I am well if you guys are well, you know? Um, but anyways, he basically called Marsau, I'm talking about, called Destiny a liar several times during this sit down. So the first time he basically referred to Destiny as a liar is when to Tisha's face, Destiny was like, I'm not bothered. I don't care about who is on this girl's trip. I can be cordial, whatever. Right? And then she goes to the confessionals and she says, she's pissed that Sonny's there and all that. Marcel clocked that as a lie. Because, girl, if you're bothered, it's okay to say you're bothered. You know, meaning you don't. I think a lot of people feel like being bothered by something is a negative. I don't, and I think I blame social media for that because everybody as Marcel put it, wants to walk around saying oh, I'm unbothered, I'm unbothered, I'm unbothered. But truthfully, an unbothered person does not have to say that they're unbothered. That's just going to be their disposition, and you're going to see it, right? But the fact that she had to, you know, put up this facade, like it doesn't bother her that Sunny is around. It doesn't bother her that Sunny and Moses are together. But when she shows up in scenes with Sunny or with Moses, what it looks like is somebody who is extremely bothered by the situation. And Marsau, he clocked it. The second lie that Marsau clocked was Destiny claiming that she could have had Melody or Martell. And I felt like no matter how we feel about Marsau because of the show, in real life, when things were happening with Melody and Martell, I recall Miss Van saying on the reunion stage that Melody and Martell, they got into this heated argument because Melody found out again that, Martell was still messing around with the bird. And things got so heated that the only person Miss Van could have called in the moment was Marsau. And y'all know I deal in facts. Okay, I deal in facts. Doesn't matter which side of the fence I'm talking about, I'm always going to come with the facts. So, Marsau was close enough to the then couple where when they got into a heated disagreement, Miss Van was there. She was worried. She didn't know what was going to happen. Um, she called Marsau. She's like, they're having an argument. I don't know what to do. I need you to come and help to calm things down, whatever the case may be. But then Melody left, right? Thank you, April, October. Melody left the house, and Marsau, Miss Van told him like Melody left. And let me tell y'all this, when you're angry and you're driving around angry, it's not the best situation. Driving around angry is almost like, or crying, driving around angry or driving around crying is almost like you're driving around intoxicated. Sometimes you're not going to be able to see, you're going too fast, whatever the case may be, right? So he calls Melody, Marsau, remember, this was said on the reunion. He calls Melody, he's like, where are you? She tells him that she's driving. And he says, okay, meet me at the Chick-fil-A, wherever, I guess the Chick-fil-A was close to where she was. And they met and they sat and they talked. So for me, I felt like Carlos thought that Marsau was going to do this sit down with him and he was going to co-sign any lies that Destiny told on that episode. But instead, Marsau, who knows more than Destiny, said, I I've never known Melody to want women. I've never known Melody to want women or to be interested in any threesomes. And if anybody was going to agree to any threesomes, it would have been Melody, and she's not interested in women. So he don't know what Destiny's talking about. And then he says, and as much as Marsau doesn't see it for Martell right now, he's like, there's no man, you know, that he knows that would turn down a threesome. So what the heck is Destiny talking about? So that was the second lie he clocked. And we already know this because Destiny, that made no sense. It would have been, and this is what I'll give Destiny. If she had said, well, if I wanted Martell, I could have, let's be clear, if I wanted Martell, I could have had Martell. Like, that would make absolutely all the sense in the world. But to throw Melody in it, I could have had both Melody and Martell if I'd wanted. It's like, how would you have had Melody? And how do you know that you could have had Martell if y'all weren't having conversations like that? If Martell wasn't, saying to you, girl, I want you or something, or flirting with you in certain types of way. Like, it still baffles me how she jumped to that conclusion. But Marsau clocked it and said, for as long as he's known Melody, he's never known her to want to be with women or to dabble in that side of sexuality. Okay, those are Marsaw's words. The third lie that he clocked was Destiny saying that Melody and Coleslaw were friends. And Marsaw called BS on that. He called BS on that. Because, and it's crazy that this is coming from a male's perspective, but I think sometimes it is important to get a male's perspective on certain things, right? And so the way Marsaw looked at it was, um, Melody and Coleslaw were two women who were being lied to by the same men. And in their own way, they loved that man at one point in time. Melody loved her husband, her then husband, at one point in time. At one point in time, Melody was trying to save her marriage. She was doing what women do, and we nurture relationships even beyond the expiration date. So, Melody, for the sake of her children and their stability, for the sake of financial stability and the businesses that they had together, she was trying to save her marriage. Meanwhile, Ariane was trying to be a pick me. Ariane was trying to get picked. So Melody being on the phone with this gutter snipe, trying to appeal to her moral compass, trying to appeal to her as a woman to another woman, as a mother to another mother. That has nothing to do with trying to be anyone's friend. And Melody getting to a point where she was done, but she wanted to, in my opinion, make sure that when she made this decision to end her marriage, that she had all the facts and Martell couldn't lie his way out of her making the decision that she was about to make or gaslight her out of making her decision. And she said to this girl, okay, since you're calling me, then let me know the next time his ass is over there. Cause when you call me and I hear him in the background and he's saying things that he's not supposed to be saying and doing things that he's not supposed to be doing, or you're taking a picture of you and him up in the bed or whatever, then I know for a fact that he's still cheating on me. And when I leave this time, he can't tell me, man, you're crazy. You know I'm not messing with that girl anymore. I left to go to the gym. I'm not messing with her. He can't gaslight her. He can't make her feel like she's crazy when she has all the facts on her side. And when she leaves, she's not going to feel guilty. She's not going to second guess it because she has all the facts. And as Marsau puts it, everybody can say what they would or would not do when they are not the ones in the situation. And those are facts. I recall I recall being one of those women who said, "Oh, I'm not gonna do this, and I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna put up with this happening. And if that happened, I'm gonna leave immediately." I said all of that only for certain things to occur in my marriage. And guess what? We had to fight our way through that dark tunnel, child, to find the light. And we found the light, and we're still together. Now, let's be clear. My choice to stay does not have to be somebody else's choice. And this is why I tell people that everybody's marriage and everybody's situation is different. You do not know what is happening in anybody's household. When I would sit and tell my friends certain things, I wasn't telling them the whole story. And I'm just keeping it real. Yes, I would talk about what he's doing, and I would talk about how much it hurt me, but I wasn't taking ownership of any of the ish that I had done. So this is why I tell people, I said, people can always come out and they can tell their version of the story. But truth be told, you will never, ever know every single thing that is happening in somebody's marriage that dictates why they made the choices that they made. A lot of people, and I'm telling my business, but a lot of people would not know that my husband and I, we were basically about to sign them papers right at the brink. And then the corona happened. And when corona happened and everywhere got locked down, we were stuck. We were stuck in the house together. And for a lot of people, the corona, the colisha, it forced them apart because being stuck in the house drove them crazy. And so a lot of marriages ended during covisha. Mine was going to be signed, sealed, and delivered done before covisha. And then it hit, and we were stuck in the house. We both got covisha, and we were stuck in the room together. And it forced us to face certain things that were happening, and it forced us to talk through it and be honest, because at the end of the day, we're about to be divorced anyway, so might as well be honest about everything. And for whatever reason, that pushed us closer together. And so for some people, they'd feel like, girl, I wouldn't have stayed, da 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 da. But I'm like, yeah, when we were up in that room together for weeks and weeks and weeks and in this house together for months and months and months, y'all don't know what we talked about. Y'all don't know how much work we did, how much honesty happened for us to get to the decision that we're going to try again and we're going to start over from scratch and we're going to rebuild. We're going to dismantle what was broken, dismantle it completely, and rebuild. And I tell people all the time, you're not weak for leaving and you're not weak for staying. You're not strong for leaving and you're not strong for staying. It is what works for you that's important. And what works for Melody is that she couldn't stay in that situation anymore. The best apology is changed behavior. And his behavior wasn't about to change. He told her, go talk to the older people so they can help you to be okay with me cheating, basically. And I talk to the older men and they say, well, you need to find somebody who has as much to lose as you and make them sign something. There are men out there, y'all, who did their wrongs and they have worked on changed behavior. It's not enough to say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but then you wake up 6 months later and you're doing the same thing. He wasn't trying to change. And the bird brain that he's frolicking around with, she didn't want to change either because she wanted to be a pick me so badly that she kept on disrespecting Melody over and over and over again. Even when Melody had left this man, Bird Brain was still out here disrespecting her and his children. And to still want to be around somebody who would disrespect your four children says a lot about Martell as a parent, because ain't no way I'm messing with a man who would sit on the internet and disrespect my child. Greenback says Destiny is just as mentally disturbed as Martell. She's also, yep, and a user too. April October says life will teach you that you don't know what you do until. Absolutely. Hi, Nanny of the Maroons. Yeah. You're absolutely right. April, October. I tell you, I said this already. I was one of those women, y'all, who said could never be me. I'm out. But then you realize that when you truly love somebody, when you truly love somebody, all of those things go out the window and you'll find yourself trying again and again and again and again until you're like, okay, I did my best to make it work. I did my best to give you second chances and third chances and fourth chances, and nothing's changing. So now it's time for me to go about my business. Even though when you were younger, you said, if it happened one time, I'm out. I even said I would never, I'm not talking to no side piece. But when it came down to the wire of me feeling like I'm crazy because of lies that were being told, and I woke up one morning and uh, 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 I had an inbox from Facebook from a side piece. I was like, okay, let's talk. Let's talk. Let me finally get the his side, her side, and then add my side to it, and then see where the truth lands in all of this. And when I got her side, I already knew his side, I already knew my side. Then I was like, okay, got it. Now I see exactly what's happening here. And that was enough for me to make the decisions that I needed to make. That was enough for me to make decisions that I needed to make. But again, Kovisha happened, and those decisions, got thrown out the window. Shoot, maybe it was God's plan. God said, girl, eh, the Pandora says here, your job's locked down, and you're not making money. You can't take the baby out of the house. So many things happen all at once that prevented me from going forward with the decision that I made. So again, Destiny can say, I would never. But girl, I'm sure in your lifespan of having boyfriends, you've talked to a side piece here or there. And it's hard for me to believe, Destiny, that in all the years of you messing around with Moses and him being married during that period of time, or having a girlfriend during that period of time, ain't nobody ever called your phone. So again, Marsau clocked it. Like she can talk as an outsider looking in and say, I would never dare do whatever. But until you're in the situation where you're with somebody for umpteen years, you got children, you got businesses, and you're trying your best to give them chance after chance after chance to do right by you, you don't know what you would do. You don't know what you would do. Martel knew that he could never be on Mel's level. The only thing he had to control her with was cheating and disrespect. Please never settle for a man beneath your financial and intellectual level. Yep. And I can agree with that. But again, Nanny of the Maroons, it's so nuanced. You know what I mean? It's so nuanced. As I said, it was more to it than just that. I think she thought about how she grew up with, in a single parent household, and how she didn't want to repeat that cycle for her children. I think it was so much more to Melody's choice when she was deciding to stay. It was so much more to it, because I can see that. I can honestly see her feeling like, I already have two kids with this dude. I know what it's like to grow up in a household with just my mom. And she was probably, again, like me, who only wanted to have children within the context of having a father and a mother in the house. Because those of you who know my story knows that I wasn't raised by neither my mother or my father. My grandmother raised me. So when I thought about having children, it was always, if I wasn't married, I wasn't having children. And if it wasn't going to be a situation where there's a mother and a father in the home to raise our child together, then I wasn't having children. Because I understood what that felt like. So I can imagine her weighing all the pros and cons and thinking about her babies too. And then thinking about the business. I mean, look how many businesses they had to dissolve. And then this dude, he goes and he files for bankruptcy, forcing her to have to file for bankruptcy, messing with her credit and all. Melody probably had good credit all her life until that moment. So when you're sitting and you're thinking about all these variables, it's not an easy decision. And you might think to yourself, as Nanny of the Maroon says, he not even intellectually, he's not on my level. But dang it, I already married him and I already got kids with him. And we got businesses together. And Melody could have felt like, damn, I'm the one running all these darn businesses, truth be told. I'm the brains behind the operation, but god damn it, I already got three kids with him and all these businesses. My finances is already tied up with his finances. My credit done tied up with his credit. And I know that to be true because my credit and my husband's credit right now are tied because of one credit card. Just one. So I understand that. And so you're thinking about all these variables, and it's not easy to just get up and say, okay, I'm out. But I agree with you, Nanny of the Maroons. In some situations, because remember, everything, we can't always generalize, you know, and everybody's situation is different. And in some situations, yeah, ladies, you ain't got no reason to be sitting up in that type of relationship. You ain't got no kids, you ain't got no businesses. You married for 1 year, get, you can get out. You can get out. Um, Reenback says, Melody said she and Martel had talked about how they both grew up in single parent home and how they didn't want that for their kids, but the fool Martel could not control himself. Yeah, he was willing repeat repeat that generational trauma. He was willing to repeat that. He was willing to sacrifice that. And he kept sacrificing it over and over again. She would give him a chance and he would put that on the table. This is on the table. This is what you're going to lose if you keep on gambling with the love that I have for you. And every single time, he would sacrifice it. And now he's lost. I understand what you mean. And Mel was very young when she got with Martell, but the red flags were there from the beginning. Him having problems with school. Yep. Lots of red flags. Lots of red flags. That was her first love too, child. Let me tell you, love, they say, is sometimes blind, child. And it will blind you. It will blind you. Those rose-colored glasses will make the red flags look beautiful. And then finally, you gotta wake up. Finally, you have to wake up. I am cold as ice, my dear. I am building ninja up, and I don't give second chances. If my husband sees, oh my God, Daddy of the Maroon, I am done. You said if he sneezes too loudly, you are out. You're not even giving him a rag. Some Robitussin, some DPH, nothing. You're like, I'm out of here. So Marsau, he clocked that. He said Destiny is a lie. Destiny knows good and goddamn well Melody wasn't trying to be that girl's friend. And I was happy that that came from a male's perspective. And I'm hopeful that on the reunion stage, if that was brought up, that Marsau was one of those people who said to Destiny, to her face, girl, you know you are a big five on liar. And then I actually enjoyed Marsau saying this. And please recall my disclaimer at the beginning. This is not me going up for Marsau, fanning over Marsau, or anything. It's just me looking at his words from this sit down with Carlos and giving my commentary on it. So I enjoyed him saying that to him, it made sense for himself and Maurice to continue to be friends with Martel. But it doesn't make sense to him that a woman whose shoulder Melody was crying on, because that's what Melody said and that's what Destiny said, right? They were crying on each other's shoulder. They were getting comfort from each other in terms of talking about their situation. Destiny was talking about what's his face, Laberic, and Melody was talking about what she was going through with Martel, and Destiny knew the hell that Martel was putting Melody through. But as a woman who claims that she believes in girl code, she didn't understand that the friendship she needed to cut off was her friendship with Martel, and for Marsau to be able to put that into perspective, it says a lot. Again, a broken clock can be right twice a day. So for Marsau to be the one to put that in perspective and say it doesn't make sense. And even if Destiny wants to claim that she went to school with Martel and they've been friends for umpteen years or whatever, it still doesn't make sense to be on the phone with your girl and y'all are chopping it up, and she's probably telling you, girl, he's doing the most again. He's trying to drag me through family court. And then Destiny's like, oh my god, Mel, it's your ex on the other line. I'll call you back real quick. Like, what? And in the moment, Melody probably felt like, okay, no big deal. But when she sits, and she had to sit with that for a second, and she had to hit pause, and she had to think about it. Like, wait a minute. Did this really just hang up the phone to go talk to my ex? That's kind of trifling. And then we're here this entire season talking about some girl code this, girl code that. But when Melody and Destiny were friends, there was no girl code, because a girl code would have dictated that Destiny dropped Martell as a friend. Destiny said in a scene with Martell that, she wasn't talking to Martell every day, but she was talking to Melody every day. Destiny has never said that Martell gave her a dime towards anything, but Melody gave her money towards things, towards her electricity bill, towards a lawyer. Melody even claimed that when she asked Destiny to rent the vehicles for her, which means that Destiny's credit card would be the card on file that Melody allegedly had to pay down the credit card that Destiny was going to use. So y'all were doing all of this as friends. And I don't hear you saying anything about Martell. But yet the friendship, it was just so hard for you to realize that even if Melody wasn't saying choose me, choose me, choose me, when it comes down to it, when it comes down to everything that she was dealing with, when it came down to everything that Martell was putting her through, then as a woman who believes strongly in girl code, the choice was simple. The choice was simple. And Destiny did not go to school with Martell. She said it. She said it herself on the Ooh Ladies first panel that they did not go to the same school. Destiny was claimed that she was a whole cheerleader for a whole other school. And that she knew Martell through the friends, the popular kids that she would hang around with from her school. Her words were, I knew Martell vicariously. Those were her words, not mine. Vicariously. And we all know what the word vicarious means. It means that you're experiencing something through somebody else's experience. So for me, I don't have tattoos, but I love tattoos. So my friend has a whole sleeve, and one of my cousins has a whole sleeve. And I live vicariously through them getting tattoos. I am so excited when they get a new tattoo. I feel like I'm the one. The people who went to Reality with the King podcast in Huntsville, I got to live vicariously through them. I got to experience that podcast through the clips that they post and through the videos that they posted before Carlos struck their channels. That's what the word vicariously means. So what she said was she knew Martell vicariously through the friends that would hang out around him. And then she said, "Oh, and my mother and my father, Martell's mother and my father dated when they were younger. Girl, that ain't got nothing to do with you. You weren't born. Martell wasn't born." And then she's like, "Oh, and one of my cousins, Martell, is the godfather for one of their kids." Again, has nothing to do with Destiny. Has nothing to do with Destiny. My cousin has brothers and sisters, y'all, that I don't know. That I don't know. Much more, Martell is not even family. He's just a friend. Destiny, you don't know that man. And then Destiny said that she left Huntsville during middle school and she would visit from time to time. She didn't say that if during those visits she was hanging out at the movie theater with Martell and them. To me, it doesn't seem like it. So she didn't go to the same school as Martell. She knew him vicariously through their friend group, and she left Huntsville in middle school and was from place to place to place to place to place. She was bouncing from Atlanta to Detroit to this place to that place. And not only that, Melody said that when she first met Destiny, the way in which Destiny was introduced to both her and Martell was as if Martell and Destiny, they didn't know each other at all before that moment. So when was it that they remembered? When exactly was it that Destiny and Martell remembered that they were some childhood friends? Was it conveniently when Martell and Melody were going through a divorce and Martell wanted tea on Melody, so he's like, "Girl, you know we've been friends since high school. I've been knowing you since middle school. And my mom and your daddy used to date." Was that how that happened? Because it's not making sense. And not only that, Destiny claims that when Martell got married, they didn't stay in touch because, it would be disrespectful. Why would it be disrespectful if y'all are just friends? One of my best guy friends, him and his wife were at my wedding. When he got married, he invited me to his wedding. Even before he got married, I knew his girlfriend. And when she became his fiance, I knew his fiance. I was hanging around them. And I knew him from childhood, like truth be told. 'Cause he was the bass guitar player at my church. And we were all young, we were all kids. And, as kids, might have dated. But in adulthood, it was like, yeah, that was so long ago. And we remained friends. And I didn't get to go to his wedding because I wasn't, in town. But they were both at my wedding. And when I call him, I'm like, "Put your wife on the phone. Let me say hey." I was like, "Hey, girl, what's up?" And we talk about life. We talk about marriage. We talk about motherhood, to the point where sometimes I forget that I even call him to tell him something. Like, "Okay, girl, it was nice catching up," and hang up the phone. And he had to call me back like, "Hey, weren't you calling to ask me something?" I'm like, "Dude, I forgot. When I remember, I'll call you back." So for me, her saying that, oh, it would be disrespectful, I was like, why would it be disrespectful if y'all are just friends? It don't make no sense. It's given they weren't friends. And I didn't even see, maybe I'm wrong, but did we see any pictures of Melody or Martell at Destiny's wedding up there in New York? Because I looked, I didn't see any pictures of either Martell or Melody at that wedding. So really, how close? How close were y'all? Let me read y'all comments because I had to hop off of here soon, get ready for work. And y'all been together for 20 years, 90 of the Maroons, and you said if that man sneezes, you are out. Oh my God. I'm not a fan of Marsau, but his points made sense. Marsau was helping Martell to cheat, so why wouldn't he continue to be his friend after the divorce? That's exactly. I get the men being friends. Like, I'm not expecting men to be on, you know, to drop their bro. And as he said, they were all friends before they even met Melody. So, makes sense. But Destiny as a woman, yeah, you were hearing Melody talking about Martell and everything Martell was doing. Yeah, girl, how could you continue to be his friend? How could you? Nicole says Destiny lies about knowing everyone, but no one remembers her. Child, she said her and Shanita worked at the same club. Shanita's still trying to find out which club that was because she ain't remember seeing no Destiny. I know women like Destiny. They lie unnecessarily and often, and that's called pathological. She is a pathological liar. I really believe, allegedly, I really believe that Destiny and Martell were messing around during his marriage. Child, I don't know. But I will continue to say that I agree with Marsau that it's weird that the friend that Destiny felt like Martell's friendship was as important as her friendship with Melody. It doesn't make sense. So it could be that there's more to their relationship. It could be that. Hi, Emma Faith, Renee. I'm hoping we ain't thinking about cutting Marsha no slack. He waited 4 years to tell the truth if that's what he's doing. I'm sure there's some ulterior motive. Yeah, I said I don't know what his angle is, so I'm just going to give my commentary based on what I agree with. You know, a broken clock is right twice a day. Good morning, Indigo Girl. The question is, why is Dusty? Who is Dusty, and where did she come from? And that's a good question. In their what you call it, wedding announcement, they said that they met at a mutual friend's Christmas party. Now I don't know. It wasn't Melody's and Martell's Christmas party, it was somebody else. So it's almost like, okay, they locked eyes, Destiny and Liberic, and then what? Did she say, "Hey, do Martell?" Like how? It's That's a good question. Where does she come from? Where does she come from? I agree that it's very weird. I also think they messed around during their marriage and they are staying friends because of the secret. Child, now that's two people who are saying that. Marcel deserves no credit for speaking up now. We all know what that he wants to be the lead male on. He sure does. He definitely does. He definitely wants to be main character. Destitute has probably always been hired help, if you know what I mean. Y'all are giving it to Destiny. But what I want to know now is all the Destinators. That's a dumb name for a fan base or whatever. All the Destinators and all the Scott supporters. How comes y'all not doing content talking about what Marsau said. Destinators, he done call your girl a liar. Now, if Melody had done this sit down and called Destiny a liar, y'all would have all been over her. Y'all would have been reading Melody down for filth child. But here goes one of y'all's faves, Marsau, and he's saying Destiny, big fat Faison liar. I don't hear y'all coming out to say anything. And Destiny's supposed to be Tisha's girl, right? They're supposed to be buddy buddies, peas in a pod. And here goes Tisha's husband saying that Destiny is a liar. So come on, Mellow Hater content creators. What do you have to say about this? Marsau even said, don't believe anything that Martell says. Mellow haters, y'all like Marsau, so are y'all going to listen to it and take his advice? That Martell is a liar and that y'all shouldn't be listening to anything that he has to say? And the only time you should listen to Martell is when you want to know what not to say? Come on, Mellow Hater content creators. Your fave, one of your faves, y'all love the Scots, right? One of your faves just told you Destiny is a liar and Martell is a liar. And the only time you should ever listen to anything that Martell has to say is when you want to know what not to say. So are y'all going to take Marsau's advice and stop listening to Martell and stop listening to Destiny too? Hmm? Because y'all have been super quiet since Saturday. Y'all haven't done any reviews of anything that Marsau said. And guess what? I would know because there's some content creators who go and they look to see what's going on over on the other side and they come back and they report and they haven't said anything about y'all agreeing or disagreeing with Marsau. So that says a lot. It says y'all just want to hate. Y'all don't want facts. So continue to hate as the facts keep pouring out. And as for Carlos King, who sat on his platform yesterday and tried to compare, I don't know if he was comparing millimeters or he was comparing just the viewers of Love and Marriage Huntsville to, the rioters at the Capitol, but that was low down and that was disgusting. You didn't even have to address anything that Heavenly said, Carlos. And then what was very surprising, or maybe not so much, is that Carlos actually admitted that cast members, cast members were also calling Heavenly's office. Cast members were calling Heavenly's office saying that they had beef with XYZ person on the cast and they didn't like her commentary on certain things and they want to sit down with her and all that. Now I'm trying to find out, Destiny, were you one of them people who call Heavenly's office trying to get an interview? And that's how you got the interview? By calling up there to Heavenly's dental office? Who are the other cast members? Because I know it's not Melody. Melody ain't got no time. So I'm thinking Martell, because Dr. Heavenly already disclosed that Martell called her office back in the day to get an interview, and that's how he got that interview with her. So we know Martell called. I have a super, super strong suspicion that Destiny also called. And who else? Who else called up there, Heavenly? Who else? And Carlos is going to say it's about 10 people that called Heavenly's office. Now, how you know that it's not one person who got 10 different numbers? Listen, you can create a Google phone number. So it could be one troll who does not like Heavenly and has nothing to do with Love and Marriage Huntsville, who has three phone numbers plus some Google phone numbers that they created, and they were calling Heavenly. It's so easy to create virtual numbers, y'all. It's so easy to do it. So Carlos put a number on it. He said it was 10 people plus plus members of his Love and Marriage Huntsville cast. And Heavenly felt like it was too much. But I'm like, Carlos is saying that people take watching these shows too far. So y'all don't think that y'all took it too far when y'all sat there and came for Letitia Lunsford and her uterus and said she should have put eggs and a baby on her vision board? What did that have to do with reviewing Married to Medicine, Carlos? What did Heavenly saying that that girl's egg is like dust and that her mama can, raise from the dead from hell and have babies? What did that have to do with reviewing the show? What did Heavenly saying that Martell can, that Shanita and Martell could go and be intimate? What did that have to do with the show? What does that have to do with reviewing the show? Heavenly sitting on her platform calling a whole doctor a Pedialyte. What does that have to do with reviewing Married to Medicine? I'm trying to understand. Because y'all do the most in these reviews, and then y'all sit up and act like y'all are some victims now, Heavenly and Carlos, but especially Heavenly. Because when you go over to Patreon and listen to some of the nasty things that Heavenly is still saying over there, it's like, and you wonder why people are calling your office? It ain't got nothing to do with Love and Marriage Huntsville and everything to do with how nasty of a person Heavenly is. And that's how I see it. Now, let me read these final comments and then I'm going to be out. They're not saying anything because they believe that what Marsau said too. Absolutely. Melody said Marhel lies in his sleep, and I'm sure he does, child, through his teeth. Marsau knows that Destiny is a 304. That's why he was talking about her like that. I don't feel like he likes the fact that Tisha hangs out with Destiny. I will never understand the hate for Melody. She literally only responds after someone takes it too far. And that's my perspective too, Juanita. Marsaw Marsaw has been peeping game on Dusty and Tisha's relationship. He recognized that she's trying to use Tisha to stay on the show. He doesn't approve of their relationship, using Tisha to stay on the show and using Stormy for money, in my opinion. Hi, Love Key. He was speaking about Marquez because he doesn't. Okay, so you feel like I feel like it's Martell, Destiny, Marquez. I feel like those might be the three. I don't think any of the Scots would be calling up to Heavenly's office, and I know it's not Melody either. But Destiny, Martell, Marquez, yeah, I feel like them three, in my opinion. And we know that Heavenly was calling Melody, so so we know Melody was calling her child. CK is trash. He's upset because Melometer supported Mel is becoming more independent. He hates that he can't control Mel with his pennies. I second that. I second that, Nanny of the Maroons. I heard that Hefferly has said people called her office before Love and Marriage Huntsville as well. And she did. She did. Martell called her office. years ago to get that interview. One of her highest rated interviews on her channel was the interview with Melody and then the interview with Martell. Because Martell's interview, I think, came after Melody's interview. I think after Melody interviewed with Dr. Heavenly, Martell was so upset that he was calling up there trying to get an interview to, I guess, debunk anything that Melody said. So we definitely know one of the cast members who absolutely called up there. But them 10 people, because Carlos put a number on it, not me. He said at least 10 people for sure. I want y'all to run those numbers. And we're going to see for ourselves if those weren't just some troll numbers, that somebody went online, downloaded an app, created some virtual numbers, and was calling up there. I could bet a lot of money on that. Because I don't think 10 fans of the show. I don't care what side of the fence y'all are on, whether y'all are millimeters or mellow haters. I don't think 10 fans of Love and Marriage Huntsville was calling up there to Heavenly's office. I doubt it highly. All right, y'all. So that's my commentary. Please remember, like the video, share the link to the channel if you feel like the content need more crowd. Subscribe if you have not done so as yet. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, now called X, at How I See It, and on TikTok at How I See It TV. Thanks to everyone that tuned in this morning. I haven't done a live so early in a minute, but thank y'all for tuning in. I saw Miss Linda Gamble, I saw Reen Bass, Nanny of the Maroons, Nicole Bay, April October, Amethyst Renee, Indigo Girl, Juanita, and let me go down. Did I say Love Love Key? I hope I did. Well, I'll just say it again. Love Love Key. And I don't remember who were the other people who were in here first this morning, because now I've lost all those comments. But thanks to everybody that tuned in, and thanks to everyone who was listening in the bushes, whether you were getting ready for work or on your way to work. Stay safe, y'all. And I will see y'all in these YouTube streets. Whether on Chef Don Don's channel, y'all know the places that I frequent. Glam Rocks goes live at 7:30, and then you have Kicking It with Courtney, who goes live around 10:11, and then Captain Venus, who goes live at around 3 o'clock. Um, Sassy TV, so many people that I'm always in their chats. Braylon, with his virtual tours. Um, any moment y'all want a break from Love and Marriage Huntsville topics, go over there to Braylon and you'll get a nice break, okay, where you can hear some current news and reviews. Yeah, go over there to Braylon if you want a break from Love and Marriage Huntsville. But yeah, thanks to everybody that tuned in, and I'll see you in these YouTube streets, y'all. So walk good. Bye.